Yeah.
Yeah, this angle's right next to that angle. So these two angles would also not only be complementary, but they would be adjacent. Find another pair of adjacent angles here.
8 and 2.
8 and 2. Are they adjacent? Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes. We need Grant.
That was the correct answer.
That was the signal.
Alright, ready?
Well, you're in the back of the room.
2, 3.
It's, that was the worst.
What does this mean?
It was called Rue anyway.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You guys didn't do it, right?
Have they lost
Three.
rounds?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're gotta be in Miss Martin's class.
Yeah.
We would have said that.
If
out
we would have
loud.
said it, we would
Yeah,
have break
Clayton. None of these people said it. I know
Sorry.
y'all didn't.
I
I
know.
didn't even say
Excuse
it.
me, I said it.
We're all lost.
All right, so
They didn't.
I said it too.
All right.
Haru.
Only person I knew said it.
I have no idea.
Only person I said it was John Tyler.
Okay, let's get back to these real quick. I want you to take your pencil and let's come down to the bottom and we're going to talk about some new words. All of these are old words that you should have already known. Now these right here are the new ones and you should have defined them in your book. Alternate, interior, angles. Alternate interior angles. Let's go back to our picture. I want you to take your pencil and I want you to notice first of all, here are your parallel lines. Okay, if you're talking about the interior of your parallel lines, see if you can figure out what angles that we're talking about. The interior of your parallel lines.
5, 6, 8, 2.
Yes, everything in here. So take your pencil and do this. Just kind of mark it. And let's draw ourselves an arrow and let's make sure we know that that's the interior. Just like the interior of your car. Okay, the inside, the interior of your house. If you have an interior decorator, they're decorating the inside. Okay. Alright, so if you're talking about the interior, you're talking about only those 4 angles. So let me cover up this extra stuff so that it's easier to talk about. If you're talking about alternate interior angles, okay, you need to find 2 angles inside that have the same measurement, that look like big angles or look like small angles because they need to be equal. So if you look at angle 5 and angle 6, are 5 and 6 the same size?
No.
No, look at 5. It goes from here all the way over. 6 is a very small angle.
5 and 2.
5 is a very large angle. 2, I see, is also very large. So if you look at that, if I were to have a protractor and measure it, because of the setup of these 2 lines cut by this transversal, their measurement would be identical if I had a protractor and measured it. Okay?
Wow.
So 5 and 2 are exactly the same size. So what do you think that happens with 6 and 8?
They're exactly the same.
Yes, they are also exactly the same size. If you'll notice just the size of these angles, it makes this whole lesson so much easier because you have acute angles and you have obtuse angles in this setup. And you have to see which ones kind of match or equal each other. So down here, we said 5 and 2 match each other. So let's go down here and list them. Angle 5 and angle 2. The other one that you told me was angle 6 with 8. So angle 6 and angle 8. They are called alternate interior and they are equal. They're congruent. Okay, congruent angles. They're the same measurement.
I've heard that before.
Yeah. So here's another pair. Alternate exterior. So if we were talking about the interior before, now we're not talking about alternate. Put an N in there. Alternate. Bless you. Alternate exterior. So let's look at the exterior. The exterior angle must be the ones out here. I have to talk about these and these. You don't have to do this with your pencil if you don't want. So now I have to ignore all the inside ones. So if I put that there to where we can't necessarily see those as well, I can't pick those. They've already been chosen. Okay, now I'm talking about the exteriors. Which ones look to be about the same size? I agree with you. 1 and 7 are small. 3, look at them. They're alternating sides of their transversal. and they're on the exterior of your parallel lines. That should make sense to you. That's why they're called alternate exteriors. They alternate sides of your transversal. They're the same size, and they're on the outside. Okay? So down here, we need to say 1 and 7. Angle 1 with angle 7, and angle 3 with angle 4. They are exactly the same measurement. Okay? Now let's talk about this word, corresponding. Write down corresponding angles. Corresponding, if you don't know how to spell it, hang on a second. Hello?
CORRESPOND. That's for you to ask for me. That's for you.
Why'd she,
And it's like, that's very nice.
Okay, here we go. Corresponding. Write this down. Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. This is probably a new term for you. Maybe you learned it last year, but maybe you didn't go all the way and master it from last year. Corresponding angles. Let's put ourselves just a little note here that tell us, this is my definition. I have no idea what the book actually, like how they stated it. This is in my brain how I understand it. Okay? It's in the same spot. But on the other parallel line.
James, you write
Okay.
it down?
It's in the same spot, but it's on the other parallel line. And when we began, we drew two lines. We drew line J, and then we also drew line K. So if you were to choose any angle you want to on line J, someone choose an angle on line J, 3, okay? So if I'm looking at angle